The Sony ZVE1 is the camera that was meant to be mine. Back in Thailand when I started the channel, it is the perfect camera that the search beckoned upon, beginning for us all. If it had been announced then, I wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have materialized into this third dimension to find the perfect camera. Thankfully, they waited. They had issues. But now that it's here, you might want to know how to set it up for the best performance you've ever seen. I have it set up specially.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So I'm surprised at how much I love this camera. I loved the A7S III, but this one's even funnier. It's cuter, it's smaller, it's lighter, it's cheaper, and it's better in every single way. Just it has little fun modes, gimmicks, stabe if you want, like a super crop, and using the camera, surprisingly good. So I have it set up. Let's get into my custom settings for the ZVE1 to have everything just immaculate. Okay, let me apologize for this image being too cinematic for your own good, but we're on the Canon C100 Mark II, of course, on the 85mm 21.2. And I stopped it down because we want to see everything. Come on, now it's a display. Wow. Okay, so I just want to show you how I set up everything from custom menus to buttons. As a YouTube creator who films himself in his studio, I vlog on the street, I do slow motion street videography, and no wildlife whatsoever. So first thing you'll notice is Sony has these little icons on the side that cannot be customized. They can be gotten rid of sometimes if you're lucky. So basically pay attention to what those icons are, and you know that you don't have to replicate any in your quick menu. I really wish you could customize some of these because most of them I do not use at all. Like, what is the self timer? Who would ever do that? The only reason you would ever use a self timer is if you had the slow motion bursts, but this camera does not have that. Microphone, like, we're not using any of these. Cinevlog, kind of fun sometimes. So okay, there's that one thing. Okay, first let's run through the function menu. So we have our mic volume here, because I always adjust it if I'm using a lav mic outside and then I'm back in the studio. That's my level there. This framing stabilizer cannot be used because I just used this auto framing thing. So these are fun modes. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're a bit gimmicky, but I like using them both. Auto framing and framing stabilizer. They just crop into your image and you can glide. That's what I was doing the whole intro. And I'll do it in the outro, I swear. I have the peaking level here just because sometimes mid is enough and sometimes it isn't. And you want high, and it's nice to have that on a quick menu. So like most of the stuff is for quickly switching into manual focus because I do that sometimes. This I have my steady shot, so we can go into the dynamic active stabe, which is really good. It's just a huge 43% crop, so plan ahead on that one. This 18mm Batis becomes like a 24mm easily, if not a 30, but it's good to have quick access to that. This is the dynamic range optimizer, just gives you more dynamic range in your standard profile. I put skin effect just because I was running out of things to even put here that I would use. And I was like, okay, that could be funny, at least on high. I never actually use it. And then creative look, standard. Don't know why I have that there. Picture profile to turn S-Log on. Here's my zebras, on or off. And then the levels, which you can also do custom. So like if I'm in standard, I do 70% for my skin tones. If I go to S-Log 2, I have these two custom range, 56 plus 3. I watched some tutorial and this was the best for skin tone, so I just leave it there. And then that's not what it used to be. Oh, that's great. It was like 92 or something and I forget, so go to hell. And then the last thing in here is just the focus area. Sometimes you want to just get it down a bit. Zone, spot. Usually it's in wide and it's fine, but sometimes you want that narrow touch. You're filming a squirrel or something, it's like, okay, let's just get to the zone. Now when it comes to custom buttons, this top one here I have to autofocus, manual focus switch. So like we're in continuous, boom, now we're in manual, and a top button up here that you can't see, I poorly planned this shot, peeking on and then peeking off. So these are just if I want to switch into manual quick, it's like, okay, boom, manual, peaking, we're going. That function button obviously opens the quick menu. I always have left is white balance. So usually it's either custom or I'm doing the Kelvin temperatures. The odd time quickly I'll do auto white balance. Almost never. The right button I keep as ISO. I like this system where it's just like you switch into auto, whereas Nikon you have to do many weird things to get into auto ISO, and sometimes you can't even do it. You can't even figure it out. My bottom button is the monitor brightness sunny weather mode. When I'm outside, it's nice to have easy access to that because you can't see it like this. I like it dim indoors, taking like very little battery life, and then outdoors it's like, all right, let's see something here. I forgot that I also have this trash button which does the autofocus modes. Not sure why I did that, so that's a redundant setting. I can change this out, but there's not much I even need, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I was running out of options to put up there. And the last function button, can I do this on the fly? Oh, look at us. I'm within the minimal focus distance. Oh no. This button I already showed you. This is my zoom rocker. Sometimes comes in handy for clear image zoom. And then this record button is what switches into custom modes, and this is fantastic. You can also see in movie mode or slow motion. This system is genius. When it's in the middle, it's in movie mode. I'm doing regular 4K 24p. I'm in manual, but if I want to switch into aperture priority, I press this button. Boom. So that will bring up this menu. So I can cycle between aperture priority. So if I vlog, I'm in aperture priority. No problem. Boom. Manual, boom. Very easy. Instead of the pinch the button, hold it, turn it. Like this, I love that. Boom. So much easier. And then if I want to switch into slow motion street videography, say, one button press, and then these are all my custom modes, which I've set up to be. The first one is HD 240p in aperture priority. The second one is the same settings but in manual mode. The third one is 4K 120p, same settings, aperture priority, and then fourth one is manual mode. So how easy is that? You can see aperture priority up here. Just press this button, boom. Now I'm in manual, same HD 240. This is for the street videography stuff. And then if I wanted 4K 120p for some reason, boom, aperture priority. And then if I want to go back to regular video, it's the top switch. Boom, 4K 24p, and I'm in whatever mode, and it's separate. You can have the manual. I could do separate custom modes for this thing. It's very different. So like I haven't even set these up because I don't even need to. So you could technically have 14 different settings, 7 regular video settings, and then 7 slow motion settings. There's so much customizability here, like it's unheard of. So for example, Nikon, I can only save 3 custom modes, and I can't do any of the things I just explained to you where it's like aperture priority for one, manual for the other. Like I've already taken the 3 slots up. It's 6K 60 RAW, 4K 120 RAW, and HD 240. And those 3 modes are all in aperture priority for wildlife. If I ever want to do manual, there's literally no option to do that. You can't do it. So good luck ever exposing. I'd have to reset the whole setting. Now, I'm sorry for an even more cinematic shot, but I forgot a couple things just to show you about Sony menus. Like if that wasn't enough customizability, they have the top 2 that have almost everything else you'd ever need. Like if you want to switch from 4K to HD or 24 to 60, all this stuff, picture profiles, like it's all in there. Everything missing is pretty much in these 2. And if whatever you need isn't there, my menu, boom. I have the auto framing settings if I want like a bigger crop or less crop. Just some extra things. Actually, a lot of those are duplicates. I have no need for any of this, but just the odd thing. Focus map, that's a fun one. It's fun to pretend that's a good thing. Totally, I could see the use of this. Oh, manual focus. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's not distracting at all. The yellow's totally, actually it works. So you can have peaking on at the same time and zebras. Everything's on. It's like Canon doesn't let you do that. Let me just prove the zebras are on. See? There, that's the perfect setup. This focus blocky mode, zebras, peaking on max, then you're good to go. You're a filmmaker. So when people say Sony ergonomics, they're garbage, bro. Like, you haven't used the camera. As a YouTuber, this is heaven. It's just button presses, very simple. Everything is simple. Oh, slow motion. And it brings you up to the last one you were in. Say I'm always wanting to be in aperture priority 240p when I switch there. It remembers that. So I'm in 4K 24p. Okay, I'm gonna go do some slow motion street videography. Just button press, boom. We're doing it. I've done it. The cool thing about that, now my touch menu switched from human to animal, one press. Then we're looking for squirrels. Do you see one, Sony? Is that a squirrel? Oh, I knew that. A wooden chair squirrel. Wow, amazing. Okay, let's see it. Oh, you're not doing it. Oh, that's a bitch. Oh, you're kind of... Oh, it's detecting it. Oh, that is fantastic. It's doing it. It recognizes cats, tigers, tigers. Wow. Oh, man. So you're doing that. Switching easy. So that is how I set up my little Sony ZVE1 as a filmmaking professional, doing anything I want, from slow motion street vids to the living room stuff to walk and talks. You name it. So, going forth, what's even to try? I was gonna sell this lens, the Zeiss Batis. Are you joking? Best lens ever made for vlogging. I'm set. I don't need anything more for Sony except 85 mils and 135s. But I'm content, and it's disgusting to even say. Okay, you made it eventually. I have a feeling that the A7S IV is not going to beat this. We're going to have one of these nostalgic cameras that's like, look what Sony did back then. And it's never going to be beaten, and we're all going to cry after you donate your Bitcoin up the top there. It's following us around. I'll leave. You agree? ZVE1? Color science. It's not bad. This mode, come on, right? No? Sometimes. No. I'll leave. I know when I'm not wanted. I know when I am wanted too. And that's basically right now. The cinema was ours.